How come every time I
You hear
see
me?
you, it's always talking about
You can say whatever you want. Listen, dude. Listen to me. At this time in history, if you stand with the 16 cartels, okay, you're gonna find out that you're standing with punk bitch pussies.
I'm black, man. I'm an Israelite.
Look, it doesn't matter what you are, it matters what you do. It doesn't matter who you are, what color you are, no matter shape or form you are. It matters what you do.
Cartel. I don't got no cartel. That's
Listen, everybody comes from cartels. They're families. They're just a title over a family, man. There were 1,600 cartels in the world, okay? 1,584 of them were mixed up, confused by the 16 cartels that bled in and got them to fight each other. And they created war between them. Those 16 cartels are the ones like the news media cartels, the blood bank cartels, the organ donor cartels, the pharmaceutical cartels, the war cartels, the savage and toxic cartels. Those cartels right there have never really truly been toxic or savage. They use war techniques, psychological warfare, to try to put fear into people. But they won't ever do it. Does that make sense?
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, that's why I'm telling you, man. You're not gonna have to worry. You're gonna figure out soon enough who I am. You'll find out your past lives inside yourself. You'll remember all you are and who you are and how many lives you've lived. And you've been with me and fought with me before. You just don't remember it yet. Okay?
Time to see everybody.
I'm Chief An. The name you may know me as is Chief An from the first 13 tribes of the Anunnaki. That makes sense?
I know about the Anunnaki. I thought it was 12 tribes.
Nah, it's 13. It's 13.
13.
It
So
was
the
over three
okay.
trillion 500 billion years ago when we first stood right here where we stand. And that's where I am. And that's where I stand. And I'm Chief An.
So what do we do from here to the future?
All kinds of things are going to change. The whole world's about to change. It's called evolution, really. Everybody's going to, their subconscious mind, their body, and their soul will join together and become whole. And they'll live forevermore in eternity. There's 300,000 planetary systems above your head that you don't really know exist right there. But there's 13 planets in each line. And those 300,000 planetary systems are coming to join with this side of the 86 planets on this side of the line. And they're all joining together as one. That's what's happening.
Okay.
Does that make some sense?
So so when you say these 13 tribes, are these tribes that I'm thinking of?
The first 13 tribes of Anunnaki, like I tried to say, there was 99 planetary systems in a line, 13 planets in each line, okay? When it went wrong, the first 9 were in control of the first 9 systems. They went against the rest of the systems and tried to take them down. I chose to put myself down. I brought my council down and was put to the ground. I said, I'll stay on the ground until I come back. I said, but when I come back, you'll see I'm a fact. I said, you'll look at the pebble that goes by your eyes. You'll run around it in a circle sometimes. It might pass you by and you might run over it or under it, but you won't even know the pebble I mean, the marble I say, happens to be the map you're on, the planet Earth I'm on. Not the rock they run around now across the other side of the world in Israel. Do you get me?
I'm following. I might do more research, but I understand. I understand
You can
what you're
talk to me
saying.
about anything, like, and ask me any questions, okay? Because I'm like, you're a good man. You got a good heart. You got a good soul, and you're gonna come to find out all these things are coming to the light, and you'll be able to walk up and talk to me anytime.
See,
Okay?
that's the part right there. See, I grew up. I'm from Orlando, Florida, right?
Yep.
And I grew up very integrated. Like everybody doesn't grow up integrated. So I football, played basketball. A lot of my teammates, Caucasian, you know what I mean, Italian, all all different
Well,
races.
you're dark-skinned Indian, I'm light-skinned Indian. We're both Indians. That's the thing. We're all Indians. It came from first two that were one light-skinned Indian, one dark-skinned Indian, and they split them apart and bred them like dogs so that they could get us to fight each other by color. Does that make
So here's the
sense?
part that I get that. Here's the part that always rubbed me the wrong way about America. You seen Remember the Titans, right?
Yep.
Okay, that's kind of how I grew up. You know what I mean? In childhood, I was at a lot of these people's houses. Treated me like family as a child. When we got the adults, it's pretty much like a disownership. It was like a disown. It was like go find your way in the world.
That's because
When
they didn't give
when
a
they have
fuck
all
about you.
the resources, yeah, they had all the resources. All their
Yeah.
dads and stuff own companies. They own companies. Didn't want to hire me, but
Because
while I was on the team,
you're a good man in heart and
everything was
soul, man.
good.
That's why. Like, let's see, that's the thing. Look, that's what the problem is there's a lot of people that took charge and they're supposed to care about their families, but like you just said, do they really care about their families? They're caring about their pocket and their bank accounts and only giving a fuck about themselves. They don't really care about their
And
true family, you know? Um, when the kingdom was here over roughly 700 years ago, okay? And that's the kingdom I'm talking about now is the Knight Templar kingdom, okay? It was here for 1,000 years. Anybody could go anywhere they wanted to go in the world, and it was paid by the kingdom. It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't that the people worked for the kingdom worked for the people. And the people worked for the kingdom because the kingdom worked for the people. Does that make sense? Like that, it's not about like there was.
yeah,
It's way different. It was way different for 1,000 years.
so
And
when you say
then,
you can replace king government nowadays and how it's backwards.
well, the difference is, see, I worked in real life in existence for 300 years to buy the whole world, dude. Because I've been here so many times that I knew what to do. I knew the proper way to do it was to work with titles and deeds and take it over with money, so therefore it could be owned when I came back. And all the families that stood with me literally stood with me because they knew that I'd give it to the world because I didn't give a fuck about the money. Because the way it worked was all crops were grown and all commodities came into the kingdom, 97% of it, then it went back to the people. So the governments and the
So
corporations and stuff would be creating stuff for the kingdom, and then it would go back to the people. They weren't allowed to keep it to themselves. Does that make sense?
yeah, how does
You
that
wouldn't
relate
have
to somebody like
multi-trillion
me?
dollar corporations because it wasn't allowed to be like that because they weren't allowed to make it so that they only benefited from the money. They had to make it so the world benefited from the money. Does that make sense?
Pyramid, pyramid scheme.
Yeah, they fucked everybody over by that shit. Yes.
Yeah, every job I tried to that the jobs that they did offer me out of high school. You know what I mean? Okay, I don't know if you know about Vivid Security.
I've heard of them before. I mean, I've heard the name before.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it's like the newest smart home technology. Anyways, one of the guys I went to school with, well, two of the guys I went to school with, they got in early. Now, 5 years later, they have their own team that they hired. That all the sales from people that they put on under them, they still profit the sales.
Yes.
So I had to
Commission
do,
based, basically. They made
yeah. So I
commission
had to do
off
door to
it. So
doors.
finally it made it so therefore they have back end money coming in every month that they make so much money that they don't have to do nothing anymore. That's
Yeah.
not the
So I pretty
way
much,
true good business is supposed to run. It's supposed to benefit the workers as well as the one that's working, as well as the one that
Yeah, so
created the business. Do you know what I mean? It's supposed to it's
I
supposed
spent
to
a
work
whole
together so that they all really truly get equal.
I spent a whole summer doing door to door sales in Tennessee and Iowa, and
Yeah.
they had a place for us provided. So you had to make one sale would cover the rent, and then everything else was a profit. But somehow I was only making 1 to 2 sales, so I couldn't even. Long story short, I left with nothing. I didn't even. It wouldn't. They didn't
That's
even
on
pay
purpose. Like
hourly.
they that listen, that's those are the shittiest businesses. Those are scams, okay? They're literally scams. They get people that are young and that are looking for jobs for summer because they're in college, or they try to find people that only can work for certain time. They say, well, we'll drive you here, we'll drive you there, we'll drop you off. Long as you get, like you just said, a sale or two, we'll cover the first sale. Sometimes they say the first 3 sales covers the actual commission of the food and the truck and the driving for gas. And then after that, you'll make money. By the time the end of the summer comes, you barely made junk. Like literally piss. Maybe you did make $100, but what's $100 after working 6 weeks? Do you know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
most people are like, oh, it's all good. I'll keep doing it. I'll keep doing it. I'll keep doing it. You know what I mean?
The worst part about it is I
Carlos, go
understand it from
screw
a business.
yourself. I'm sorry. See, look, I'm getting rid of I deal with a lot of assholes that are fake cartel members of the 16 cartels all the fucking time. Because those 16 cartels are not happy that they're going down. But I'm just going to destroy them because all I had to do is talk and my friends got up and started doing the job. And they're too dumb to realize that, so they keep watching me.
So what
See,
job can I
it
do?
even says the 16 cartels. The 16 are
So
watchful.
what?
Like literally, it's like this. It's funny because they're that stupid that they're so concentrated on me, right? That they don't even know they're screwed. And they still are so fed up with their bullshit, okay? They believe their own bullshit and their own lies that they've got sucked in by the news media cartels to believe that they have any real control left. Does that make sense? Oh. I'm sure you got worried at that one.